Hi, listeners.
Chatty Chappies.
Here we are again.
Chatty Chappies.
Chatty Chappies.
Chatty Chappies.
Chatty Chappies.
Brian and Andrew on Chatty Chappies.
Chatty Chappies.
Thank you for turning on Chatty Chappies. Andy and Brian are recent friends who are discovering similar interests and just like chatting about all kinds of things from music to vehicles, spirituality to writing, but seldom football. No, never soccer. I mean, never football.
Chatty Chappies.
You are listening to Andrew and Brian on Chatty Chappies.
Right, here we are. Okay, just the two of us again, back in the studio.
Hi Andrew, yes it was good.
We'll let that train go past.
That's the train, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good to speak with Matthew there, the last programme, and two programmes, yeah.
It was good.
It was good, yeah.
So that's a first for us, and having an interviewee,
and we're going to have more, and maybe if people want interviewed they could tell us in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know there's been one or two have mentioned to me indirectly they'd be happy to be involved, and when we go live, and I know we've got a wee bit of work to do there, but when we go live that would be really interesting. So if you're a member of the group and we go live, you'll get a notification from us.
Yes.
So don't panic.
So you can listen in live to our ramblings.
Yeah.
And what are we going to ramble about tonight? What are we talking about? We mentioned something downstairs.
We did.
About Cornish pasties and forfar and
we did.
We seem to gravitate to foodstuffs.
We do, don't we?
You know, two slim-looking chaps as ourselves.
Yes.
You know, and you would think that really, Billy Bunter would be more our image, but
yeah.
Well,
they're certainly more savoury than the Empire biscuit.
Yeah, which would that takes them into my
yeah. So we have been to Forfar and we've bought a Forfar bridie in Forfar, and we like Forfar bridies. It's nice meat with a bit of onions and seasoning, and it's a pasty parcel with meat. Yeah.
Okay, so bridies from outside of Forfar. As good. Can you get bridies up here in the north of Scotland that would go round the butcher's shops of Inverness and Dingwall and?
Now that's a good question. Maybe we should do a little investigation in that.
Because we have
in our travels.
Yeah. I notice in the Victorian market there is a particular butcher that has supposedly award-winning football pies.
Did you mention the word?
I mentioned the word.
Okay, let's go back to pies.
But we're going back to pies and bridies, but there is a certain I forget their name now.
Yeah, quite famous,
Famous pies.
There's a famous pies in Perth, Murray's Pies, and they've won lots of awards in Scotland, yeah. They're on South Street,
Right, okay.
But that's slightly different from the bridie. Yeah.
Bridies are more like a Scottish Cornish pasty, aren't they?
Yes, so let's talk about Cornish pasties
as well, of course. Yeah. Well, you've been to Cornwall?
Yes, a few occasions. I've been to Land's End.
I've never got down as far as that. I've crossed the Tamar. Been as far as HMS Raleigh, which anybody connected with the Navy will know. And they're called Oggies.
Oggies? No, I never knew that. I've actually had one in St Ives.
Okay.
But I won't describe it yet because I think you want to tell us something particularly about the Cornish pasty.
Right, well...
So,
Oggie. Now, whether that's a naval term, Jack speak, for a Cornish pasty, I know when I was at HMS Raleigh many years ago, there was an oggie, which was a Cornish pasty, and anybody who was Cornish was known as an Oggie man.
Ah.
And there was a mobile food van used to come up, and it was the Oggie van.
Yep.
Sold the mid-morning refreshments.
So what's the connection then between the tin mines and the Cornish pasty?
Well, the Cornish pasty, so popular belief is that was the snack, the lunch made by the miners' wives for their husbands in the tin mines, and you had a savoury end and a sweet end.
You had a savoury end
Yeah,
and a
in
sweet end.
In the one, so the
Uh-huh.
half circle Cornish pasty should have meat in one end
Right.
and savoury and sweet in the other end. So
So you have your two courses wrapped in one.
in one.
Main course and sweet.
Now, I might be talking nonsense. Some of our listeners can certainly come in on the comments page and tell me that. Won't be offended. And if there's anybody out there who from Cornwall who can verify that or rubbish it, then we look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah. Now, thinking back to the Forfar Bridie, the Cornish pasty, size-wise,
Not having been to Forfar and not having had a Forfar Bridie,
all right.
I'm going to have to rely on you to tell me.
Well, my recollection of the Cornish pasty was it was a lot larger.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that's a new marketing ploy down there
Or
to make it bigger, the kind of...
when you see them now in shops,
Exaggeration,
they do
yeah.
seem to be, they're quite a
substantial size, yeah.
They're a full lunch. You're not really going to need anything after that.
Yeah.
But
we have...
Fridays do
Yep.
tend to be a bit smaller.
I think so. I think generally speaking, although we do see in the kind of routine markets, supermarkets, the Cornish pasty is probably about the same size as the Bridie. But that's not the same as the Cornish pasty we're talking about from down south.
Yeah.
The traditional one. Interesting that the wives made the lunch,
That's what I've heard.
which could have been heated or could have been cold.
Yeah, possibly by the time you got down the mine in the darkness of a mine, you didn't have the means to heat them, so you were eating it cold.
Yeah.
But
And there it is, the Cornish pasty.
mhm.
Yeah, I think we maybe try and get some of these and have a wee taste, a wee trial.
yeah.
Yeah. What would you have with it? Mashed potatoes, maybe?
Well, there's already bits of potato in it.
So there is.
There's. This is again something. If you're sitting with it as a plated meal,
Yep.
then what are you?
Would it be just as it is?
As it is, with a little
Yeah.
bit of
Yeah.
carrots and peas on the side. Are you?
Yeah.
Is it? Was it ever intended to be something that you sat down with it on a
Yeah.
plate and ate with a knife and fork, or did you just bite into it and?
Now, I'm just recollecting, here's a shout out for Ian Luke, because Ian and I used to get Bridies in Stirling and we used to go home and heat them in the oven in Balfour Street. You remember this, Ian? And we'd have the Bridie and we'd have the baked beans and a toasted roll. Oh, that was Saturday lunch.
That was Saturday
Yeah.
lunch.
So
That was-
beans and Forfar Bridie seem to go
Yeah.
together for
Right.
me and for
Okay.
Ian and I, yes.
Yeah. And that would probably be the same then for if you were having what we'll call a Scotch pie.
Scotch pie, yeah.
For the sake of
Yeah.
yeah. If you were having it as a lunchtime thing, you'd have your Scotch pie and some beans.
And it's
if
very
you're having
similar.
it at half time at a football match, of course, it's much different.
It's much different,
Yeah.
yes. You take a bite and it
Yeah.
drips all down you.
Yes, yeah. You can't beat it, can you?
Yes. It's interesting that we seem to be picking foodstuffs that's perhaps not the best for us.
Well, there we go.
Well,
We'll have
maybe
to get some of our
vegetarian
friends
things,
in
yeah.
to tell us
To-
what
yeah.
the alternatives are.
Because butteries, in fact, we got some butteries recently from Bucky. Ross was the baker. I think we've had Ross butteries
We have,
before.
we have.
And very good, yeah.
Yeah.
So butteries, what else?
Is it possible
Pies.
to make a vegan buttery? Is there
No.
is there a vegan alternative to lard?
Oh, vegetable oil. So
Well, vegetable oil going to work?
now you see, we don't know everything, and that's why we have this. We're trying to find out, don't we?
We do.
We do research, and others come and tell us. So
Yeah, yeah.
there we go.
Now, what would be the vegan equivalent for the Cornish pasty, or can you make a Cornish pasty using corn
Oh yes, aye, with a Q.
with a Q?
Uh-huh.
Sorry for the advertising. I'm sure other brands of vegetable-based mints are available.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I've got happy memories of Bridie's though and beans. Yeah.
There you go. There you
I'm
go.
I'm sure Ian's smiling if he's listening in to
Yeah.
this. Yeah. I hope he is listening in. Anyway, so have we got time for a chat about something else? We've got a few minutes.
We've got a few minutes, so there we are. We were talking about that. And so, the other one then, we did mention beans. Who's the favourite baked beans?
Now that is a difficult one.
You've got sort of three main players.
Well,
You've got Heinz,
Yeah.
Ross and Blackwell,
Branston, HP,
Oh,
yeah,
the names
yeah.
are coming out there.
Yeah. And then of course there's the Tesco's, the Aldi's, and that
All these different
supermarkets,
supermarkets, own
brands, Morrison's,
yeah.
Sainsbury's. I'm not sure. Do they do
Waitrose,
beans?
I don't know.
Waitrose. Yeah. Now I know the missus. She's quite happy with Branston or HP, but
Yeah.
to be honest, there's one or two things that you can't change. You know, and I think some of them are one or two of the cereals.
Yeah.
And one or two other things like that. You can't really. Well, I can't get the other brand. So for
Do
me,
you find a wee bit disappointed now when you open a tin of beans?
a lot more liquid.
A lot more liquid, not quite so many beans.
Yes.
The-
Where have they been?
where have they been? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm a Heinz man.
It's
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
A wee hint to
Yeah,
manufacturers there.
yeah.
Get us back to filling the
Yeah.
tins properly.
A quick shout out to Francis. Sorry, Francis. Branston beans don't do it for me.
Branston beans. I have tried them, but I can't say. There's only one Branston product
Oh yeah.
that I always live with, which is, of course, the famous
The pickle.
the Branston pickle.
The Branston pickle. Yeah.
A chunk of cheddar cheese.
Cheddar
and
cheese
and some
pickle.
Branston.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing all this advertising for them.
We are. Yeah.
Hope that there will be a case of Branston pickle winging its way to us.
Well, you never know, because I know Francis, the father, he wrote to Harry Gowes about his bakery, and he sent him a nice package of
Dream Wings.
something like that. Yes,
Oh wow!
yeah. And he did a nice poem, and it went well. And yes, he got a nice thing in the post. So
Very good.
you never know what influence we could have on people.
Yeah.
Just when we're talking about influence, friends, when you're listening in, could you ask your friends to join us on the group, and join us too on YouTube? We're growing, and we want to grow a bit more, and we've got lots of topics to talk about. We're only just scraping the barrel. Is that the right phrase?
Well, we're yeah.
Well, no, we're not scraping the barrel. It's the opposite.
We're the opposite.
The barrel is full.
The barrel's full. We've got topics. We've got to try and branch out.
Yeah.
We're going to be speaking very soon about electric cars.
Okay.
Which we have touched on before,
Yeah, that sounds good.
but converting a classic car to run on electricity.
All right. Okay.
Is it ethical to take your Jaguar E-Type and turn it into an electric car?
Well, looking forward to that one.
Your
Yeah.
Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud.
And can we also maybe at some point in the future talk about robotic lawnmowers?
Oh, right, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I think we have to go, Andrew.
Yeah.
Nice chatting with you.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Catch up again.
See you next programme.
Bye just now. Bye.
You were listening to another program of Chatty Chappies.